Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to RBN Hardware and a brand new video where we're gonna take a look at this mysterious $600 pre-built gaming PC that nobody is talking about. Now, if you don't want to go through the hassle of having to build a PC yourself and you're looking for a complete PC build you can start playing games on while spending the least amount of money possible, now you want to keep watching because this is as good as it gets. Now, if you look anywhere for a $500 to $600 pre-built PC, you will usually find an old 3rd or 4th gen Ryzen APU that can only do light gaming at very low settings. On the Intel side, we usually find a 4-core based Intel system with a GPU part that may not even be able to play games at all. Oftentimes, these PCs only comes with the minimal amount of RAM and only enough storage to fit a couple of games. My point is, at around this $500 price range, you usually only find crap not worth looking into. However, that is not the case with the $600 PC. Here's a sneak peek at what kind of performance you can expect with this gaming computer. Now, as we can see, we're looking at respectable frame rate in pretty much all esport titles at 720 and 1080p low to high graphics. Very impressive performance for a complete pre-built PC under $600. So how did I find this? Well, the other day I was just googling around looking for cheap pre-built gaming PCs and used graphics cards when I all of a sudden stumbled across this PC on Amazon. Now, the machine in question is coming from a relatively unknown company called Shinobi. Now, I have been googling a bit, but I haven't actually heard too much about this company before. However, they do seem to be quite reputable on Amazon with high ratings, and they are also available on Newegg. With that said, let's take a look at the full specifications sheet, and as we can see here we find high quality components. For the processor we're looking at a 6-core 12-thread Intel Core i5-10400F with a 4.3 GHz clock speed, and just a quick look at the CPU performance reveals that the 10400 is landing between the 8-core Ryzen 7 3700X and the 6-core 3600 in terms of power, so yeah, a very fast and future-proof 6-core CPU for sure. We find a H470 motherboard, a 512GB SSD, a 400W power supply, and Windows 10, as well as 16GB of RAM, and a GT 1030 2GB GDDR5 graphics card. Now, as far as the specifications goes, I'm very impressed with all things considered. Now, to be fair, the power supply is on the lower side in terms of power, so I would highly recommend upgrading this to a 550 to a 600W unit if you plan on upgrading the PC with a beefier GPU later down the road. But other than that, yeah, this PC has pretty much all you can ask for a cheap, future-proof gaming pre-built PC. Now, taking a look at the case, we see that there is a single fan included in the front, so you might want to install at least another fan at the rear when you decide to pull the trigger on a better GPU, or you can just pick up any $60 budget case, and that would probably be my first upgrade if I'm not entirely happy with the airflow. However, judging from the pictures, yeah, the perforated front looks solid, allowing air to flow through with minimal resistance, so yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that in the end. So let's take a look at how games will run on this PC. Let's start with 720 low to medium. Now, as for games such as Fortnite, Rocket League, Rainbow Six, pretty much all esport games, we're looking at an average over 100 FPS. Where more demanding games such as Far Cry 5 lands at a modest 51 FPS. At 1080p we see that esport games are still totally playable, while Far Cry is around 30 FPS. Now, looking at a few more titles, we get a better understanding how the GPU performs in older versus newer games. And as we can see, less demanding titles runs great on this GPU. But yeah, it is obviously not an RTX 3080 killer by any means. Now to put things in perspective, the 1030 lands up between AMD's newest 5th gen Ryzen 5 5600G APU and the Radeon RX 550 from Team Red. Now here is the kicker guys, once the GPU shortage has been taken care of, you can easily pop in an RTX 3050 or a Radeon RX 6600 and enjoy 1080p or 1440p gaming without having to worry about the PC or the CPU being a bottleneck for the system. 16 gigs of RAM is more than enough, 512GB SSD is also enough to fit quite a few games. Now, all in all guys, this is a very interesting machine that can last you many years to come with lots of potential. Now, I do think it is important to understand that while pre-built PCs can be a cheap and valid entry for anyone that doesn't want to build their own PC, but I do think it is important to understand that you can actually get more performance at about $100 less if you decide to build the PC yourself. On top of that, if you aren't scared of buying from the second-hand markets, you can actually get even more performance at around $500 to $600. I recently made a video showing you how you can build a $600 gaming PC with the Radeon 580 fast enough to play games, actually all AAA titles maxed out. Yes, this solution will require a bit more effort and time, but in my opinion, this is the way to build a gaming PC during these difficult times. If you're interested in reading more about this pre-built gaming PC, you find it linked up down below. If you have any questions, if you found this video helpful, leave a thumbs up with any questions you might have, and I will catch you guys in the next video.